What's up, everybody? ODC here. Welcome. I'll wait for some people to kind of pop in here before we get going. Welcome to the workshop. Human Mechanism, what's up, buddy? Yo, Joe. Yo, Joe. Sorpox, how's it going? Woodman, hello, hello. Awesome, Woodman. Sounds great. Sounds great, buddy. Okay. Give some more people some time to kind of pop in. I do have a few things on the horizon. We do have a character build right here. So there's that. I have a work in progress right here. I'll give you a quick little glimpse. Whoop! And that's it. One more glimpse. Whoop! That's it. So there's that. That's another subscriber build. This is a subscriber build as well. Got a Marauders package in the mail today, the one I was waiting for, so there we go. Yeah, I saw the dark skin contract ops. I'm planning on picking some up. I actually put in an order yesterday, and then these popped up today, so now I'm putting in another order. The people at Marauders are probably like, why doesn't he just put in one big order? But actually, you know what? There's a method to my madness as to why I put in separate orders. Let me get this stuff all out of the package here. There's a method to my madness as to why I do separate orders. And the reason for that is because it kind of it helps me keep track of specific character builds, so everything's not all kind of lumped into one big package, you know. I'm not getting the lighting I want right now. There we go. That's a little bit better. Maybe I need to move in a little bit closer. But, all right, I'll try that. All right. Magic Customs, how you doing? Hello, hello. What am I building? This is a subscriber custom build. I'm building a subscriber team, and this is another one. The last build was a subscriber build as well. That was kind of an off the, shooting from the hip, off the cuff one that I did for Woodman 29. I believe he's in here too. But so yeah, we're doing a subscriber build. We got all of this stuff here for said subscriber build. The rest of your stuff, Woodman, for your character is on the way. I haven't thought of a name for your character yet. I'm still kind of working with it, but I'm leaning towards Inquisitor. Because he is an interrogator, and that's just another term for interrogator is Inquisitor. So I'm leaning a little bit towards that, but I'm still working on it. So, what I'm going to do as far as setting this up and how I do it, I'm going to be doing the builds live still, and then I'll be doing the full character bios, and I'll even be doing my own team's character bios as well. But I want to do the subscriber character bios before I do my team, just because, you know, these are basically characters based off of you guys, so. Okay, we got enough people in here. We can start getting going. Okay, so this was actually, GAZZ was the first subscriber to give me a character bio and all that stuff. So what I went and did was I ordered this stuff. It was a little bit on a delay, but then everything got rectified. It's no big deal anymore. No issues anymore with Marauders being delayed as far as that's concerned. I think they actually chopped their time down from being 20-day delay to a 12-day delay. But there was kind of a little bit of a miscommunication, I guess, as far as when I put this order in, but not a big deal. I have all the parts. I have all the pieces. I took the time to actually do this ahead of time and kind of, instead of shooting from the hip like I always do. So there is a thought process behind this, and I'll explain everything. There will be GAZZ, since he sent me the first character bio, he will have the first spotlight video. So I just want to get that all out of the way before, so everyone knows. But this is GAZZ's character. He is based on a GSG9 police character, so that's what I went with. Now, he did give me specifics as to what he wanted. I kind of threw a little bit of my own flavor in there with his character. I'm sure he won't mind. I hope he doesn't mind, but a lot of GSG9 police officers do wear jeans. So I want to kind of influx that to kind of give him that different look, you know? No, human mechanism, no, there's not usually a delay. It's just that as soon as the dogs and the contract ops, they're very popular. So it's just a fact. I think it's just a matter of these being kind of new, relatively new. I mean, I think it came out, December of last year? November. I think I got them a little bit early, like end of November, but yeah, they came out relatively new or recently, so they're just on a little bit of a delay because they're getting a lot of orders, which is a good thing. I mean, they are a smaller company, so I kind of have to give them, leeway when it comes to having like shipping delays and stuff like that, trying to process orders faster. Plus, they have to. I mean, if you see like a Marauders order, you'll get like a sheet of paper, and it says everything on there. I'm sorry, I'm talking with my hands. You'll see a sheet of paper, and they have a checklist, so they just have to go through all these small parts and kind of do that. And I'm pretty sure that it's not a big factory that they own or anything like that. It's the factory that they use are, I think, overseas, and then they ship the parts to them, and then they organize them accordingly. So, but anyway, your dogs took nearly a month. Yeah. Some were delayed just due to the high volume. The reason why I got them so quick was because I joined the Kickstarter, so I was one of the few people to get them early. But hopefully GAZZ can catch this stream. If not, he can always watch it on delay. No big deal. But let's pop into this. I'm in 7 minutes into this, and I'm just blabbing. But if you guys have any questions, I don't mind answering any questions while I'm doing this. I'll try to answer them as best to my ability that I can. I'm talking like Yoda today. I don't know why. But they actually sent me 2 free things, which they usually only send me 1. For some reason, my lighting is just garbage right now. I don't know what's going on. I can't get that sweet spot. All right, that's a little bit better. It's not bright enough. There we go. I don't want to wash you guys out, but they sent me another black knit hat, and then they sent me a submachine gun. So maybe I'll use these for another character, but those are the 2 free things that they sent me, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I'm going to start doing that from now on, because when I wouldn't been giving you guys a heads up, I'll probably do live events from now on. I'll probably just schedule them. This way you guys can pop in, so you know when I'm going to do a live stream. It just coordinates things a lot easier, Oh yeah, you can do a ton of different things, and what actually, I know there's a lot of complaints about these new torso pieces not lining up with the old upper torsos, but there's a way you can get around that. You can just use the regular torso piece from the previous ones and then just swap the legs, so it's not that too bad. But all right, let's start getting going here, because I am just sitting here blabbing away. All right, so we got I already put the harness on. So I think originally he wanted. There we go. Come on, get on there. There we go. Originally he wanted kind of like a BDU deco, but I was looking at a lot of photos of GSG9s, and they do wear, especially even on what was it? For the majority of the photos I was looking up, they have like they usually go with jeans. A lot of them do. So I don't mind it. I think it makes him look unique. I think it looks pretty cool. If he doesn't, worst case scenario, if GAZZ doesn't like it, I can always change it. Holland Bricks, I'm actually working on your guy. I spoke to you via the comments, so we're gonna get that. I have that in the works, so so we're gonna pop that torso on. So he's got a dress shirt torso. I wanted the gray one, but they didn't have any more of those. So we got this is the base for that. I'm gonna swap the hands out. He does have gloves. I gave him some gray gloves. We got a few things here. I did give him an extra head setup. So you know, if you want to go a little bit, if you want to go a little bit more character driven, you can go with this head. This is the head I chose for the unmasked head to give him. And then he said he wanted a backwards baseball cap, so I decided to go with just the typical black backwards baseball cap for that. Action figure expert, what's going on? How you doing? So there's that. But for the sake of the character here, we're going to just go with the balaclava head. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. We're going to swap these hands out, which means we got to heat these suckers up. Okay, so that's what we'll do. I'll get my charger off here. I should have more than enough battery right now. All right. And then we'll get these hands off. Yeah, I'm glad you could pop by. I'm just going to take him. I'm going to get rid of these hands really quick. All right, there we go. And poop. There's one hand. Adios, muchacho. That should be good. Sorry, I promise those are the loudest noises that you'll hear for the rest of the stream. That's all the noises that you'll hear. All right, so those are heated up. Let's get these gloves out of this package really quick, and we will get GAZZ going. We'll get GAZZ going. Say that 10 times fast. Get GAZZ going. Boom. Oops, I'm bumping into things. Apologize. I'm excited. And boom. And I believe those are going to be his hands. There you go. He did send me specifics as to what weaponry he wanted. You don't necessarily have to do that in your character bios. If you want to leave it up to me, that's perfectly fine. Either way, you know. But there we go with that. I'm actually going to pull my setup. I was going to pull it back. It's fine. I'll just leave it up here. It's fine. Just leaning over the table a little bit. That's okay. But there we go with that. Next up, we're going to put his vest on. I went with an all black vest. And this vest doesn't get in the way of the belt like Woodman's characters did. So it's a little bit neater of a fitment. There you go with that. You can always glue these if you really want these to stay on. I never glue the vests just in case, you know, down the line someone wants to do a change or something. So there you go. Black vest. Don't worry, we're gonna. I know it kind of looks kind of washed out with all of the black going on top of black on black, but trust me, he's gonna look great. All right, we do have a sticker sheet, and I did want to, seeing as GAZZ has chosen GSG9, and he is German also, give him a little German flag. And if you guys want to let me know your nationality in your future bios. That's what I'll do. All right, so next up we're going to get his headgear going. Now, the GSG9, I know this is technically a pilot helmet, but the GSG9 do use these kind of armored helmets that look similar. They kind of poke out on the sides. They kind of look like helicopter pilot helmets. So I just went with that, and then they usually have a big shield that comes over. Now, the shield, I don't believe you can use that shield on this helmet. I mean, I could always glue one to the top, but I just simply am going to go with the goggles as the eye shield for this. Hopefully it looks good. I think it will, so let's get that going. I was just going to order a regular helmeted shield, or shielded helmet, excuse me, but I kind of really wanted to, I feel like this is kind of iconic to a GSG9, so I wanted to go that route. So we'll get that on there. I'm trying to, there we go, no. All right, let me do this on camera. I'm going to have to pull this all back. So you'll have to excuse me for a moment while I situate here. Okay. There we go. Now this is much easier now. Instead of leaning. All right, let me get my tweezers out. Terry Turner, what's going on, buddy? I just went and bought some new Loctite, and they actually have this. I'll show you in a second. If I can get that on there. Come on, buddy. Why you be so pain in rear end today? There we go. There we go. That's what I wanted. Boom. There you go. And then we'll pop his helmet on. There we go. And a lot of them do wear balaclavas, so that's why I decided to give him one of those. All right, we'll move our situation back up. Sorry for the shifting and the the moving around, but the lighting is actually better up here, so I have to move things and kind of leaning over a little bit, but it's working out regardless. All right, so next up, he wanted I believe he wanted a Benelli, but I ended up giving him this Mossberg just because I couldn't find a Benelli, and actually really GSG9s use I believe a Remington 900. I believe that's what they use. I looked up this list and it was very informative as far as what GSG9s actually use. They use a lot of HKs. They do use G36s, which is what he wanted. So he will be using the G36 right there. So no issues with that. And then I gave him this shotgun just because, I mean, he should have a shotgun. Also gave him this rifle sheath for the shotgun, so you can mount that to his back. So just put the shotgun back in there, and there you go. Perfect fit. So, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I want to see how it works. I also did give him a USP. I believe he wanted a Glock. There's not a whole lot of Glocks, but they GSG9s do also use USPs, so not a big deal. Another H&K weapon, so we'll put that in his holster here. There we are. All right. Oop, his helmet's doing something weird. Like I said, this is his unmasked head, so there you are with that. And then what I was going to do next, I'm going to kind of pull back again. I promised the last time I'm moving things around. So I'm going to keep the camera right here. It's just easier for me to work with. All right, I'm going to pull all this stuff forward. All right, there we go. All right, so we've got our base so far for the character. There we are. Oh, no big deal, Terry. You had to move a refrigerator for your aunt? Oh, yeah, no big deal. I just had to remove my cousin from Italy actually had to help me move my mom's old hot water tank. She had that replaced, so that was, and it was still not 100% drained, so I was like, wait, why don't we just wait for this to be drained? All right, so I took, anyway, really intriguing stuff. I took these little extra big pouches off of the one of the canine units. I'm going to use some of these pouches just for extra, just an extra little unique, different look for him. And I just want to see how they kind of look. I think they'll look pretty good. I really do. They are, you kind of have to maneuver them a specific way because kind of like this. But I think that looks pretty good. God, I can't see anything over here. At least from my vision. There we go. I think that looks pretty good, pretty unique for him. And then we have some gray. Now, the gray pockets really bring out everything else as far as the detail goes. I also gave him some shotgun rounds we're going to put on there. The walkie-talkie, all that stuff, all that fun stuff. So, he's going to look good. He's going to look good, at least I think. I'll give him his back rifle. Oops. Come on. Oh, it's not lined up. Oh, and there goes one of the pockets already. I'm going to have to glue those right away. There we go. That's what that'll look like. Looking good. Looking good. Oops. Oh, God. Just keep falling on me. So back heavy. Alright, so for the shotgun rounds, I'll put those on his belt. Let's just see how those look. Down here. Oop, other way. Ding dong. Other way, you ding dong. There we go. Perfect. That looks pretty good. And then get some pockets going. I put some pockets on the back. All right, let's start gluing. All right, so I picked up this new Loctite pen. I don't know if it's new or if it's been out for a while, but it looks pretty cool. And it's a lot more precise. You don't put as much as you would with the regular bottle right here, which actually, funny story about this bottle. I went to go unscrew it, and the friggin' top snapped off. Yeah, they're definitely good for counter-terrorist operators, absolutely. Very good. Also featured in Rainbow Six Siege. So, there's that. Alright, let's test this little pen out. You just push and then, yep, there it goes. Yeah, it's pretty nice to use this, actually. How am I feeling about the Snake Eyes movie? Yeah, indifferent, I think. I think the jury's still out if it'll make money. I don't know. I think it really depends on how much it grabs kids and how much kids are invested too, because really, I mean, if you want to stay relevant, you've got to appeal not only to the diehards, but you've got to appeal to the casuals, you know. And if you don't, you're not going to last as far as being relevant, you know. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to, scratching their head. Well, it's GI Joe. It's, it's popular. But I feel like Marvel did it right. They got a lot of casuals into their universe and invested in their stories. And I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't do well, just because G.I. Joe hasn't been relevant, and they've essentially stopped everything via G.I. Joe. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. I hope with the movie they will release figures too. I don't know, man. I mean, at this point, do we really do we really? I mean, I'm sure they will. It all depends on who's going to stock them and what kind of figures are we going to get. Are we going to get 5 points of articulation? Then don't even bother doing it. If we're going to get Marauder style figures, then it's almost kind of like, you know, what's the point? Just get a Marauders figure and make a Snake Eyes, because you can actually make a pretty bomb Snake Eyes with a Marauders body, you know? But that's what they did with Retaliation. They were giving us like 5 points of articulation. That is terrible. I'm sorry, but that's just god awful. Let's get this other pouch on. So it all depends. I mean, I think it's a kind of a risky move. This is why I never agreed with taking time off. Really, I mean, I guess I was kind of back and forth on it a little bit, but I don't know. I don't think taking time off helps revitalize a dead brand that you haven't done much with. And really, you got to blame Hasbro for not doing anything with it. But hopefully, you know, I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that it does well. Yeah, Bumblebee's good, but the difference is that Transformers have been relevant for pretty much the Michael Bay movies. Even though they're not very good, they've still been relevant. G.I. Joe has not been relevant. That's the problem. They haven't had movies constantly coming out. They had 2 movies and they didn't do well. That's the problem. They didn't. G.I. Joe, just as a brand, it doesn't make money for Hasbro. Marvel Legends makes money. Marvel in general makes money. It's bigger brand. Star Wars makes them money. You know, it just G.I. Joe's is not the brand that those larger ones are, like Star Wars and even Transformers is a larger brand, you know. So it's all about being relevant nowadays. It's not about, you know, oh, they did such a great job or the movie is good. No, it's about having the product on the minds of people, you know. That's the big kicker when it comes to making G.I. Joe a big thing again, is that, and I don't know if it's necessarily a realistic thing to say that it will be, because it just doesn't. I don't think Hasbro has the faith in G.I. Joe, because it just hasn't made them money in years. So, sure, they have cool lines, and like I dig Pursuit of Cobra a lot, and you guys all know that, but they're kind of the redhead stepchild when it comes to the Hasbro products being pumped out or dished out or whatever you want to call it. But that's just what I think. I mean, you can agree to disagree. It's perfectly fine. It's just my take on it. I hope it does well. I do. I hope it's a good movie, and I hope it does well, and maybe things will change. I think a lot of the other problems is that they don't know how to market. Let me get my tweezers out here. They don't know how to market G.I. Joe anymore. Because terrorism is a no-no thing to market. You don't want to market a terrorist. You know? Alright, so where should I put this flag? I might just put it on his arm. Put it on his arm right there. That looks good. Like that. That looks pretty good. I could have put it on his pouch. That's okay. No big deal. I like it on the arm. I think it looks cool. Looking good. Looking good. This is a smaller build, but it's, I think everything is... What do you guys think? I don't know. Let me know what you think. What do you think? What do you think? Let me see. If this is, yeah, that's not going to work. All right, let's try another. I'm like blinded by this light right now. I think these are too big as well. Yeah, I'll have to go with the small ones. Small guys. And this gray will help the figure stand out a little bit more. Oh, come on. Why are you not go in? This thing's giving me issues today. There we go. That one went in. Get this stupid thing off his back. There we go. There we go. Come on. Why is this fighting me? So there we go. So that's what he's starting to look like right there. And then we'll get some more. Try to get a pouch. Some couple pouches on the back maybe of the fig. Maybe on the vest over here. But this is GAZZ is coming along. He's still not in the stream, but that's okay. I'm glad you guys like it. Okay, I gotta catch up with what you guys said. Hollenbrick said we will get new figs. I feel pretty good about the fact that they contracted out 6-inch figs to Mezco. That tells me they will start pushing a 4-inch. I mean, if they go away from 4-inch and go to 6, see, a lot of people are convinced that 6-inch is going to save it. And I don't agree with that necessarily, because they're like, well, and their big claim is that well, it worked for Marvel and it worked for Star Wars. Well, Star Wars and Marvel were always, I'm going to go back to relevancy. They were always relevant. They've been relevant. Star Wars is a huge brand. It's bigger than G.I. Joe. Marvel is a bigger brand than G.I. Joe. So yes, it works for them because they're bigger brands and they're on people's minds. But when it comes to 6-inch figures for G.I. Joe, there's gonna be like, oh yeah, there's G.I. Joe. I remember that. Like, all of us will love it. All of us are fans. I would support the line because I want the line to thrive and I want G.I. Joe to be relevant. But I don't see 6-inch figures just saving the day. You know, they could just peg warm like everything else peg warms, you know. I think if the G.I. Joe movies do better, it's all based on the movies, really, because the comics aren't selling well. Nothing is really selling all that well for poor G.I. Joe right now. That's the hard part. And I'm not trying to sound like a pessimist. I'm just trying to be a realist. I want G.I. Joe to be good or do well, you know. True. Magic Custom says true. Hasbro definitely loves Transformers and Marvel, Star Wars, and even Overwatch more than G.I. Joe. They market it like the first Expendables movie, just for kids. Yeah, I mean, they could go that route. I think I agree with what Strident said. I think you have to just go with the OG 13 and base it in, you know, the 70s, the 60s, and base the original 13 then, and then have an evolution. Kind of similar to what they did with the X-Men movies, but better, because the X-Men movies were god-awful. But how they kind of set things in a specific time, and then have an evolution, so the next movie would take place in, like, maybe modern day, and you bring back some of the older characters, and now they're older now, in different roles, or you could do multiple, like a trilogy of the original 13, and then the next trilogy could be the next wave, kind of similar to what Star Wars does, and just have an evolution that way. I think that would help people get butts back in the seats and want to see G.I. Joe. Sorry, I'm just kind of like holding this here. I don't know why. But I'm rambling now. But I think that would make things better for G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe needs to take baby steps, and I don't think that doing this weird, I don't know. I don't agree with them doing the whole mixed universes, and I mean, I guess it can work with Transformers because that's fine. It's a Hasbro thing. It works. They've done it in the comics too. That could work, and it would be interesting. But I feel like G.I. Joe would be better off just doing its own thing, you know, as opposed to having to cater to other brands to be relevant, you know. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But so I'm probably going to put those there. It's going to be a little bulky, but that's okay. Tactical. Nope. Woodman says nope. I don't think 6-inch will work. Too many fans of 4-inch. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, I think 6-inch people, like, I'll buy 6-inch GI Joe figures. Of course, I will. I'd like to see them in 6-inch. But you're not gonna. You have to understand. You're gonna sacrifice things like vehicles and play sets and stuff like that. You're not gonna get that stuff. Like Star Wars does it, but Star Wars makes more money than GI Joe. So you have to understand you're not going to get a vamp, and if you do get a vamp, it's probably going to cost you like $70-$80 for a vamp. Mezco? Yeah, but Mezco is like $80 a figure. Mezco is going to be expensive. The Mezco ones are going to be straight up like what Sideshow Collectibles did with GI Joe figures a while ago. Like what was it, about 10 years ago? They did those Sideshow Collectibles exclusive figures for GI Joe. I have Dusty myself, but it's essentially going to be that line. It's probably going to be a collector based line, and that's it. And they're going to cost $80 a pop, like regular Mezco figures do, if that's what they're doing. But I don't know. Hopefully, a regular $20 6-inch line would, you know, probably make a little bit more sense. But, you know. All right, so let's get the. Actually, I might take one of these off, and I'll put this right there. No, not gonna want to fit. I'll put it up there. Up. Come on, get in there. Boy, this hole over here is really giving me a hard time today. There we go. Push a little more. Use the force. Hey, Indy, what's going on, man? I also got the Hardy Boys 2-pack and the Brood 2-pack in today from Ringside. Pretty stoked about it. Pretty excited. Oh, that's upside down, you dingleberry. Yeah, big dingleberry, you. So, there we go. And there we go with that. Let's get his G36 in his hand. Now he's looking official. He's starting to look official. I just got to glue everything. What else? Put this pouch in the back, right in the middle. There we go. And I just won't use these two. And there's the alternate head. And this is GAZZ. Where did his... There it is. His rifle in the back. Oh. There we go. And there he is. There is GAZZ. Wish these elbows bended a little bit more. I know he looks kind of funky like this, but let me get in close so you guys can see him, and I can show you in detail what he looks like. But this is GAZZ, technically the first, but well, technically the second, because I made Woodman's over there. But here's GAZZ. He looks pretty good. GSG9 character. I wish they had sneakers. I would totally give him sneakers too. But I think he looks pretty good. Looks very urban warfare. That's what they're supposed to look like. I'll get this gun in his hand like this. I still have to glue a lot of things, so if things pop off, worry not. I'll glue probably everything. Let's get him holding his gun. here. Come on, hold your gun, buddy. I want the gun butt underneath your arm. Dang helmet. There we go. That looks pretty nice. I'm liking it. I'm loving it. Chapman Films. I should make one of Chapman. I should. I'll have to ask him ahead of time. See if he wants me to do one of him. He'd have to be like a Navy SEAL, though, because Chapman was in the Navy. So, there is the GAZZ. Let me get this so I'm not holding this figure the whole time. I'll put his alternate head over here. Oh, come on. Hopefully he doesn't fall over. Let me get a display stand for him. Display stand, come out wherever you are. Hello? Come here, display stand. Alright, so we have 2 subscriber figures now. Look at that. Isn't that something? Or would you just look at it? There we go. Then we'll do the little Turnerino. And then we can... Oh, wrong switch. No, where's the switch? Where's the switch? That is. Alright. Alright. He's got his head on the ground, too. Just woke up from a nap. What's going on with G.I. Joe? Nothing. This is a, Andy, this is a subscriber build. GAZZ actually sent me an email. And I said I was going to do a subscriber team. And I think I kind of have a little bit of a story as far as what I want the team to be. But we'll get to that once the whole team is complete, and then we'll get to all that. But this is a subscriber build. If any of you guys want to send me a character bio and you'd like me to showcase your character in figure form, in physical figure form, I'm more than happy to do it. This, I paid for this to be done, and I think it looks pretty good. This is a lot of fun to do. This is something interactive that we can do. I always try to pride myself on trying to be more interactive and a little bit more innovative. I know it's not the most innovative thing ever done, but I like to do things with you guys as opposed to just pumping out the garden variety review all the time. So yeah, I think the with the blue and the brown boots and the black with the gray I think it looks really good. I'm the only one who does this? Well, that's good. I mean, it's fine if other people want to do it too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I just want to do it so I can, do something different for a change. Because once, I start doing the regular reviews, it just kind of gets, I don't know. I don't want to say boring for me, but I don't feel like I'm being challenged to do anything. So at least this, I have this we can hang out, can talk about stuff, And then once I start doing the spotlight videos is probably what I'm going to call them. I'll probably call them the character spotlight videos. Those will be edited reviews or videos, Oh, thank you, Christopher. Appreciate the sub. But yeah, this is a lot of fun to do. I really do enjoy it. And like I said, if any of you guys want to send me your character bios or information and want me to do a figure of you guys, just send me an email at ODC DATSME. It's just ODC, that's me, at gmail.com. And make sure you title the email Marauders Task Force character build. This way I know what it is and I can just pop it on. If you want to send me photos, references, or whatever you want to do, you can send me a traditional file card if you want to, G.I. Joe style or your own style. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not picky. However you want to send me your character bio is how you want to send it to me, and that's perfectly fine. But yeah, definitely send it to ODC, that's me, at gmail.com. And once this video uploads, I will link my email in this video. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. What character is that? It's actually a subscriber character. A subscriber sent me character bio and information, and I based what he gave me, and this is an all original looking design from what I've thought up. And it's all using Marauders parts. I don't think I used any G.I. Joe parts except for the Mossberg and the Mossberg shotgun and the G36. I think those are the only ones that I used that were G.I. Joe pieces. But yeah, like I said, if any of you guys want to send me a character bio, go ahead, and I will do my best. Yeah, he is his character. He wanted this is based on a subscriber named GAZZ, and he wanted his character to be a GSG-9 operative, so we went with that. Yeah, I think he came out great too. I think he looks really good. Looks very unique. I didn't want to go with the typical BDUs just because, you know, I want these guys to look different from each other. I don't want everyone to look the same, you know. But yeah, I hope the Snake Eyes movie ends up being good. I know he's the most popular, so he's their Wolverine, you know, as far as that goes. So I'm not surprised that they decided to go with that for rebooting or whatever they're trying to do, bring back the G.I. Joe brand. But, you know, him and Storm Shadow are probably the two most popular, I would assume. But I don't mind them doing that movie. I just don't want to get beaten over the head like we did with Wolverine, with just Snake Eyes movies, because I wanted it to be about the team. Like G.I. Joe is not about one person. It's supposed to be about a team. You know, that's the point. So hopefully it's not Snake Eyes movie featuring G.I. Joe. It's it's a G.I. Joe movie, you know. I don't mind getting an origin story. That's perfectly fine. But let me bring in Woodman here, because now we have two. So we have GAZZ, and then we have Inquisitor. Move him over. There's Inquisitor, and there's GAZZ. Two of the team members so far. We only have two so far. So, well, there you go. That is it. You guys have any comments, questions, concerns? Anything like that? Washing these out. I gotta adjust my lighting. There we go. That's better. Mucho better. Mucho better. They both look great. Yeah, they do. They look nice. How often will I be doing these? Well, as often as people send me bios, I will do them. I usually do Marauders stuff on the regular. Like I'm trying to do a. I really want to do this version of Shipwreck because everyone that's done like Marauders videos, they always do like the original, the cartoon, or the OG 313 stuff, and I'm like, that's cool and all, but it's kind of been like beaten to death. So I'd like to do different versions of characters. So I'm going to try and do a Marauders version of the wetsuit style Shipwreck, which this was actually one of my favorite G.I. Joes. It's actually the original G.I. Joe from when I was a kid. Look how, I can't believe how good shape it's in. The original O-ring and everything. So I would like to actually find the pieces to finish him off and make him all original again. But I'd also like to make a while I do that and refurbish him, I guess is what you want to call it. I would also make a Marauders version of him. There's not even any. Look at that, no rust or anything in the metal pins. But yeah, I think I might have to use a G.I. Joe body for his wetsuit, like maybe I could reuse a. Let's see, I could probably reuse a body from like Firefly, something like that. I could repurpose that. How about that gold-plated goof off Lieutenant Falcon? Falcon would be kind of, yeah. I could do a Falcon. He's not. I could do a Falcon eventually. I'd like to do some other, a couple other characters, before him. But I could definitely do him. I could do a Torpedo. I'd like to get this Shipwreck done first, though. Flint, yeah, I could do Flint. So far, I've done Spirit. I've redone Spirit. I redid Alpine. I redid Bullhorn. I redid Spearhead. I redid Lowlight, and I redid Footloose. And all those videos are up, except for Alpine and Spirit. But I'll do a video on them, just kind of going through what I did as far as that's concerned. And Lowlight, too. I didn't do a video on Lowlight. But I also did some other characters, too. I did Doc from, and I showed this last time, I did Doc from Rainbow Six Siege. There's Doc. And then I also did a couple characters from Ghost Recon Wildlands. I did Nomad and I did Midas. So those videos are up as well if you want to go check those out. Check those out in my video library. I'm gonna make a separate playlist only for Marauder stuff. So bear with me. I know you might have to fish through some older stuff, but I'll be sure tonight to make a playlist for you guys to just go check out. Have I updated the Sweet 16? A couple here and there. I haven't done too much with them. Like I said, I want to get some of these subscriber builds done and kind of showcase them first. And then I'll probably get into spotlighting the whole Sweet 16 and getting that done, because that has been a longer term project, which I wanted it to be a shorter term project. But I also want to do videos of me shooting scenes with them, probably just be cheap, short little videos, vignettes. I wouldn't even call them videos, vignettes of them just kind of doing like battle scenes, stuff like that. Probably just take photos and upload them accordingly. Do like a little montage thing. Andy said, speaking of the X-Men, did I do a video on the new Beast? No, not yet. I'm probably going to do one big video on that whole wave, just to kind of get it all in one. You know, it's just easier that way, because I don't get a lot of views. A lot of people don't watch the Marvel Legends reviews. Like, that's not what, I guess was not what people want to see, because my last Marvel Legends review, no one watched it. I think I got like 40 views. It was horrible. Yeah, I'll definitely, Andy, I'll definitely do a video of that whole wave, though. As far as my, yeah, I'll save the thoughts for the video. I'll try and get that done tomorrow. Still can't find the rifle from those skeleton figures. Yeah, they're tough to track down. It was kind of like if you didn't jump on board when you had the chance, it's one of those things where they were rare. You know, Navy SEAL style shipwreck. Who? This guy? No, that's a custom subscriber build. It's based on a subscriber's character. Both of these guys are. This is Inquisitor, and that's GAZZ. Those are their code names. You said, I'm about to start shopping with Marauders. I've used up all my extra, or you've used all of your extra figures and parts. I just finished my cover girl. Nice, man. That's awesome. You're back. Good looks. Nice. Or looks good, sorry. Yeah. It's coming along. They both look pretty cool. I'm liking the team so far. Can't wait to see what the rest of you have to offer me. Like I said, I have another subscriber build right here. This one's based on hauling bricks. We're kind of discussing on one of my videos what he'd like to see. And I think I have a pretty good character build for him. I still need to get a couple more things for him, so it's not quite done yet. But, yeah. Especially, I mean, I wish I could make these better. I really do. I wish I had the talent to paint, which I don't. I'm just, it wasn't the art I was good at, you know? But this character right here, in case there's any new viewers here, we did his video I think it was about last week. We did it about a week ago. And he is a interrogator. And GAZZ is a GSG9. So that's GAZZ's character right there. That's the one we just did today. So, yeah, hauling bricks. Yeah, be sure to send me your character bio. I think you said you were working on it. So, if you did, then thank you. Appreciate it. But there you go. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to do this. It's keeping me motivated, you know. I was actually surprised I got the package in the mail. I was super excited when I heard the mailman knock on my door. I was like, what? What? Because I think I just put in the order less than a week ago, which was good. Do I just... I have a talent for it? Well, I guess I mean, I'm essentially just kind of taking Marauders pieces and putting pieces together. That's all I'm really doing. I mean, if I had a real talent for it, I'd be able to paint these guys and paint the weapons properly and maybe repaint some faces, stuff like that. Give them less of a toy look and more of a realistic look. I wish I could do that. I really do wish I could. I mean, I could always start practicing, I guess. But I have to get the right paints. I have to learn how to dry brush and do all that stuff. And I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to that. So, but I appreciate the sentiment and the comments, and I'm glad you guys like this. That's you know, that's what it's all about. I still have your pieces coming in. I did put in an order for the rest of his pieces, Woodman. But yeah, I want to start using a little bit some Hasbro bodies, the ones that are worth using. I want to influx more of that too, so they don't all just look like Marauders figures, you know. Not there's anything wrong with that, but it'd be something cool. Like I'm working on, where did he go? I'm working on this. I don't know where I'm gonna go with it, but I'm working on this guy so far. He's on the rock body. I think I'm gonna do something like put ammunition covering this. Maybe have it wrapped around his forearm or something like that. Just so the Arashikage symbol's gone. I still hate that they did that for Roadblock. It just doesn't make any sense. The Quinn body is a fantastic figure. It's one of my favorite G.I. Joe Hasbro figures. I think they also reused it for Alpine. They did like an exclusive Alpine. But yeah, I love that figure. It's such an underrated figure. A lot of people don't realize how good of a buck that is. It's a really good one. Yeah, they did that Alpine for the FSS Club. Who else would I like to do? I'm trying to think. I've been trying to think who I'd like to do. I would like to do my own version of Flash. That would be a fun thing to do. I know that they did kind of like a Pursuit of Cobra-esque Flash in Rise of Cobra, the Rise of Cobra line. Where he's wearing that kind of like orange style vest and he's got the gun that attaches to his back. But I'd like to give my own version of that, of Flash. I always dug Flash. I thought he was pretty cool. Grand Slam would be another one I'd like to do my own vision on, you know, give my own take on it. Because I always feel like, for me, only for me, I feel like I would like to have my own take on a G.I. Joe as opposed to just, I mean, it's easy to just take a figure, oh, this is like what I did before with like Bullhorn. But Bullhorn, the reason why I did Bullhorn the same way, the FSS style, or his traditional look, was because I just couldn't afford the FSS one. That's why I did Footloose as well, because I wanted a Footloose. I wanted a modern looking Footloose on a modern style body, and I couldn't afford Footloose. He's like $100. I'm not paying $100 for 3 3/4 inch figures. It's not worth it to me. So I made what I couldn't afford. Also love the Dollar General Shipwreck buck. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yep. You know what I would love to make? I think this would be on the top of my list. Where is he? I'm going to go find him. Hold on a second. I would love if I could get the pieces and the body right. And it's one of my favorite Cobra troopers because I remember falling in love with the card art for the figure and how unique this guy is. I just loved the Hydro Vipers. If I could redo him in a darker purple like the Marauder body one, where are they? And then just use the original mask like this purple, that color purple. I could use that. I'd even like to go for a little bit of a darker purple if I could. Let me move him over here. But I would love to get a modern version of this. This is one of my favorite ones. I love how unique he is and how he's got that creepy mask and He's got that big old like jagged dagger. It's like one of my favorite GI Joes, just because he's so. I know he's bright colored, and maybe a lot of people don't like the bright colored aspect of GI Joe, but I dig them. I think they're badass characters, regardless of how bright they are. Have I made Airborne? Sergeant Airborne? I don't think so. I have the. I could make one. It wouldn't be crazy difficult, but I already have the regular version. So if I did make a Sergeant Airborne, I would probably remake him in my own deco design. You remember my childhood? Okay, cool. Creature from the Purple Lagoon. I know, right? He's cool though. Unique. I always dug unique looking designs. Because if he was like, I feel like he wouldn't get the flack that he does if he was a darker purple. If he was a darker purple, he would be like, oh my god, this is one of the best G.I. Joes ever made. And then it even gives you like, he was definitely worked on as far as like Dr. Mindbender, playing around with genetics and whatnot. So he's definitely altered. And I believe it says that on his character bio, that these guys are altered as far as genetically goes. Kind of like a manfish. Which is another cool aspect. And that's the really cool thing about Cobra is, as much as I do love the Joes, I like how unique Cobra can be, you know. And I'm one of the people. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Cobra La, but I'm one of the few people that do enjoy Cobra La because it's different. It makes sense for Cobra, I think, instead of just being a terrorist organization. I mean, there was always that mystique of what does Cobra Commander look like, you know? And they gave the little backstory, so I thought it was pretty well done as far as that goes. I know a lot of people don't like Cobra La, and that's perfectly fine. They can think it's stupid and blah 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 blah. I don't care what people say. I dig it, regardless. I can see the beauty in everything, you know, especially and that's what I would love to do for villains, is just do all organic versus tech. You know, the Joes are tech and just do all organic. If I could, but it's already been done. You know, it's Cobra La. So. But that's what I love to do. That's why I loved about Cobra La, is that it was that organic vibe versus the tech, which is gonna win. You know. I always wanted to see mask figures in this scale to fit with G.I. Joe. Yeah, that would have been cool. I think they made a Matt Tracker G.I. Joe. He's becoming more and more difficult to find for some reason. Let me know if this is giving anybody motion sickness. Actually, I could probably just stop it. I don't have to. Oh. There we go. I'll just put them next to each other. There we go. There we go. Yeah, the Cobra La guards I thought were pretty cool. Nice design. You know? Yeah, Christopher, we are the same age. I'm 36. I turned 36 back in April. Yeah, Mask was pretty cool. I liked Mask. Yeah, I wish their figures were the same size as G.I. Joe, because I felt like that should have been a line that was close to G.I. Joe, but... Or could have worked with, you know, G.I. Joe. You're going to be 42? Nice, man. Cobra La is... Oh, I missed that comment. It's a great segue to bring back G.I. Joe, because it can't sell terrorist stories. They could do that. And I think it would probably get over better now, as opposed to in the 80s because everyone wanted. I feel like a lot of people that dug GI Joe, like I like GI Joe, but it always had a futuristic fantasy feel to it. It was never GI Joe was never supposed to be dumbed down and earnest. Like, to me, at least. Like, cuz I mean, they shot laser guns. They used like far advanced tech than modern people were using. Um, so I mean, you could see it. I mean, it's proof is in the pudding in the comics and in the cartoon where they were using futuristic stuff. So I never really thought of GI Joe as this like serious military thing. um, they, some of the designs they came off like regular military, but I feel like that was a sign of the times. So I feel like when they brought in Cobra Law, I guess maybe fans were expecting one thing and got a different one, something new and different, and they just hated it. I noticed that a lot with like a lot of things. Like whenever something is done, it seems like a lot of the audience has expectations, and when those expectations are not met, then it's just, oh, it's crap. But if you give it a chance and kind of open up your mind a little bit, you might enjoy it. Vitruvian hacks will help make the best globules. Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I actually use a bunch of those. Like I have Medusa, I have a few of the female ones, and then I have two of the males, and I use those as like Cobra Law troopers for globulus. So I've seen a couple really awesome customs, and I wish I could remember the guy's name or the both of their names. One guy made like the little capsule for I'm saying that name, globulus, and then the other guy just redid the entire thing, like repainted him and actually did a custom head for with his eye and everything. Yeah, I mean yeah, Chris. I agree. Um, I agree because you have to, especially in a movie. It's the ante has to be upped exponentially, and if you just stick with what you've seen in the cartoon, sure, okay, great, but we've seen that a dozen and a dozen times already in the cartoon. So it's like they had to do something different for the movie. It had to be epic. It had to be big, and that's why I feel like a lot of people missed that aspect of the movie. It's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be the same thing that you've already seen because that's boring. It's supposed to be like something big. I mean, you see all of the Marvel movies. Look at all the Marvel movies. The ante has to be upped exponentially every single time. And that's why people love them. You know? Well, yeah. Well, it was is a sign for the times. GI Joe's linked with terrorism because that was just Cobra's thing. It was the bad guys. I don't see it. It's tough. You could see it both ways. You could see it as from a marketing standpoint. You are selling a guy that says terrorist on it. You could just say, just don't put terrorist. Like we all know that they're terrorists, but just don't put terrorist on the card. Just put enemy, bad, like enemy or conspirator. You could put that. You could just You could just name it something else. I don't feel like Hasbro was trying to do that. It was just a sign for the times. The '80s. Terrorism wasn't looked as the same thing as it is now. It's different. Different time now. Everyone is offended by everything, and they don't like specific things. People have very thin skin nowadays. The majority of people, not everybody, but no, Enforcer scared me as a kid. You loved it as a 10-year-old kid? Yeah, that's the cool thing. And I love the fact that we got animated movies back then. That was the and GI Joe was a GI Joe and Transformers hit the theaters. Like we don't get that. Like okay, perfect example is the Sonic movie coming out. There's no reason why that needs to be live action. Where Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse did fantastic. There's no reason. I hate it when people say, "Well, it's animated. It's not going to make a lot of money," because that movie made a lot of money. You know, I mean, there's tons of movies where like Sonic should have been just an animated movie. There's no reason why, and you could have just brought Jim Carrey in to voice Eggman. You know, you didn't have to do it live action. I mean, that movie looks like it belongs in the late '90s, for God's sake, or the early 2000s. Yeah, everyone is very hypersensitive nowadays. But yeah, Cobra the Enemy. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it did say Cobra the Enemy. But I think on the back of the card, like it does say like the terrorist organization name known as Cobra. Yeah. Well, when Optimus got shot, you know, I was not happy about that. But, you know, for looking back at it now, I mean, it made sense as far as progressing a story and trying to do new things. I mean, they didn't necessarily have to kill off like a lot of them, but you knew that movie was serious. Like it was a different tone. Same thing with GI Joe. Like when Duke was supposed to die, and they didn't. Like if GI Joe would have came out first, they would have kept Duke dying. You know. But it released after Transformers, so. But they did kill off a lot of. I feel like Transformers did that a lot. They killed off a lot of characters just to sell new figures for the line, and I don't think it was necessarily the smartest thing to do with certain characters. I mean, you can kill off the guys that like they don't mean much, but yeah. And I always have dug Duke, but I think he should have died in the movie. Like no one gets a snake shoved through their midsection or chest, excuse me, and then just goes into a coma and comes out of the coma. Like what the hell? To me, he's dead. To me, he died in that movie. But you know, whatever. You know what? I was more of a GI Joe guy than a Transformers guy. I just started recently, like learning more and more about the lore for Transformers. Like I always watched the show as a kid, and I dug it. But the problem with it was that whenever I'd go to Toys R Us, either Transformers was too expensive, or because I was a kid and my parents didn't want to spend the extra money. The reason why I had so many GI Joes is because they were what, $2 a pop, $3 a pop, where Transformer was like $10, $15. It was more. It was exponentially more back then. So my parents couldn't afford to spend that per figure on me, where a GI Joe or $20 for a vehicle and a figure made more sense to them. Which I'm kind of glad, because I think it was the logical route to go as well. So, what the heck is this? It's some weird numbers calling me lately. But yeah, that's why I always was in more so. I can't talk. That's why I was always more so into GI Joe as opposed to Transformers. But I do have Transformers. I started kind of able to get those. I love the Siege line. The Transformers Siege War for Cybertron is a fantastic line. And if you don't have any Transformers and you missed out on a lot of the G1 versions, I would say if you wanted to get into a line, that would be the line to get into. It's your regular garden variety line. You're $20 for the deluxe figures, and I think they're like 30 for the Voyager figures. The leader class figures are, I think, around $50, and they're, I think, was it a couple other figures like different classes that they have. They're like $80, but they're supposed to be different sizes because each Transformer is not the same size. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about my Transformers collection too. I'm pretty pleased with what's come out and what's going to come out during the summer. I think a couple more figures are dropping this month and next month, so I'm pretty excited about it. And the fall time too. So it's gonna be a good year. Yeah, Joe's were under $5. Hell, remember when Pursuit of Cobra was under $10? I remember those days. Well, don't blow your wad on Transformers, you know. I just started reading more and more about Transformers within the last like 5-6 months, and just got into a lot of the characters. So, like Impactor is one of my favorite characters. I think personally, I think that Last Stand of the Wreckers is probably the best story for me, at least. Yeah, maybe don't go down the rabbit hole then, Woodman, you know? Or just stick with the Siege line, because that's that's sticking within a budget, at least. Or just make a budget for yourself if you're going to get into the line, you know? Yeah, I think so too, Christopher. I have to agree with that. I think that Hasbro shouldn't have stopped that Pursuit of Cobra line. I feel like they had a good thing going. I've been saying this for years now. They should have made a Pursuit of Cobra movie, and if they were smart with this Snake Eyes movie coming out, they'd come out with a animated movie. I don't even care if it's direct to DVD, an animated movie right away after that or before it, to kind of get people kind of pumped up. Resolute was fantastic. That was a fantastic animated film. I mean, it still baffles me that they haven't even gone the animated film route, because I mean, even though you don't have a live action movie and you're not doing anything with it, they could have still came out with an animated movie. They just stopped everything. They're just like, nope, everything's done. You'll live vicariously through me? Okay. It'll probably be a lot cheaper if you do it too, you know? okay. That's what happened, Holland Bricks? They all quit? Well, that makes sense then. That, and I feel like Retaliation got in the way of Pursuit of Cobra too. Because I think Retaliation was supposed to come out in 2011 or 10. And then it kept getting pushed back, and then didn't come out until 2012. And then the figures were like a year. They were like on the shelves for like a year, and then the movie finally came out. So that was like a disaster. That whole thing was a messed up disaster, you know? Yeah, they make hacks and Marauders now. Yep. 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 Marauder, Rubin, that whole crew. Yep. I met those guys a few times at the Columbus Toy Show. They're pretty cool guys. Nice to talk to. Pretty chill. You can just tell that they love what they do, you know? I would love to work for those guys. That would be fantastic. unless I get Joe's from Big Boy Collectibles or toy shows, I'm going to be Marauders. Yeah, there you go. There's always eBay, too. Big Boy Collectibles is cool. I like, Jose's a good guy. He's a really good guy. I know, oh my God. I would be so stoked to go to work every day and be able to just, like, futz around with, like, you know, figures all day. Oh my God. It'd be like in heaven, you know? But Holland Bricks, if Hasbro would have kept them around, we would have never got Marauders, we would have never got Vitruvian Hacks. You know, we wouldn't have gotten those. Even that the new one, chicken fried toys with the cowboys. What was it? What's it called? The Fallen, I think. Also, what the heck is that called? Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, his prices went up. Yeah. Oh, you found out about him through my video? Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, what's that? Is Marauders ex Hasbro guys? I think they are. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I have no idea. I'll just stick with I have no idea because that's. But that's what Holland Bricks is saying. I think Marauder Ruben is. But yeah, I think I might cut it here, guys. It's going about almost on 90 minutes here, so I'll cut it short here, and I will. Excuse me, sir. And I will say thank you to GAZZ for sending me this. He was the first one to send me a bio and everything. And I hope you enjoy your character build when you're watching this back. Unfortunately, he was not able to catch the stream. That's no big deal. But this is a lot of fun to do. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Stay tuned for the Spotlight edited reviews of both of those figures with Woodman's character and with GAZZ's character. So expect those, and yeah, I'll probably have another video up. I'm gonna try and do some of those Marvel Legends figures. I don't know if I'm gonna do a live video of them or if I'm gonna do a edited video. Just have to kind of figure it out, see what I want to do within the next day or so. But yeah, you guys have a great time. I hope you guys had a great time. Excuse me, and thanks for popping by. And thank you to everybody. Thank you to Zorpox and Holland Bricks and the Human Mechanism. Be sure to check out Human Mechanism's channel. He's an awesome dude, great content. And yeah, be sure to check him out. Be sure to check out A Showcase, another awesome guy, and he does a really good job with his videos as well. So check them out. Thank you to Christopher, new subscriber, and Woodman, and Holland Bricks. I already said that. And who else? Yeah, the Batman. Thank you for popping by, the Batman. Who else is in here? I don't want to leave anyone out here. Fernando, thank you for popping by. And Magic Customs, thanks for chatting me up, bro. And thank you to everybody else. if I forgot your name. I apologize. Zorpox, too. Thanks, buddy. But you guys have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys